I'm going to show you guys the forge real quick. This is really important, so if you're a new player, definitely pay attention here. When you first unlock the forge at level 30, you have several of these legendary forge materials, right? These are unlocked in the faction wars, and they're unlocked honestly a little bit later, right? So you're not going to be unlocking legendary pieces until you hit stage 13 of faction wars. So it's going to be a while before you get these legendary pieces again. So if you just waste them on whatever, it kind of sucks. But we're going to be using them for perception pieces. Perception is by far one of the absolute best pieces of gear you can forge in the forge. So we're going to be aiming to get some speed or accuracy substats. We would love to get speed boots out of this. But the nice thing is it gives us a pretty good chunk of materials, so we're just going to hope we get some good substats. So here we go. Now we have some charms here. We want to use the rank and rarity charms, so that way we increase our chances of getting, like say, legendary, and increase our chances of getting 6-star. And then we also have some of these charms here, so we'll go ahead and go through that. We're going to toss a rank charm in, a rarity charm in, and I don't think we have any substat charms, so we won't worry about that. And we're not even going to worry about using any of the type charms here. We're just going to let the game give us what it gives us. So let's craft these. And the nice thing is too, if we don't get good pieces, then we'll obviously just sell them and make a lot of silver. This is an incredible piece. My goodness, this is a great way to start it off. So epic 6-star piece, right? Now keep in mind, up to this point, the only 5-star piece that's just been given to us has been the 5-star weapon that we got from the logins, right? The 5-star lifesteal piece. We now have our first 6-star piece of gear on our account, and it's got amazing stats, right? We've got accuracy substat on an accuracy set, right, which is amazing. A high roll of HP and a high roll of crit rate. Like, I mean, you couldn't ask for more, so we'll take it. You could ask for more, like if it had speed, but we are happy with that. Defense percent boots, and we got a substat of HP percent and a substat of resist. Now remember, we want speed boots on like 99% of our champions, so the only way we would want to equip these is if we didn't care if they were just really, really slow. And truthfully, we don't have any champions that we don't care if they're really slow. Later on, we will. So we're not just going to go ahead and chunk these into the trash and collect 48,000 silver because they're 6-star percentage boots. So we're not going to do that. We're going to keep them, and later on we'll put them to use in some capacity. Shield. Oh man, that is good. Okay, so 5-star shield, speed, accuracy, both amazing to have, and defense percent. This is screaming to me like this is absolutely one of those pieces that would go on Ultimate Death Knight, right? All three of these substats are right up Ultimate Death Knight's alley. You got defense percent, accuracy, and speed. Amazing. Okay, so those were our three that we could roll there. Now we're going to go ahead and roll 11 here, and we're going to do a 10 pop because that's always fun. Maybe we'll get something good. Boots, weapon, helm, weapon, weapon. Ooh, legendary. We'll have to see what that is. That's exciting. Okay. Okay, cool. So we've got some good pieces. Let's check them out. We've got boots, flat defense, not really ideal, right? HP percent, attack percent, and speed. Um, for this, the only reason, let's see. I'm trying to think. I do still need to put gear on Faction War Champions, right? Even if I'm using an uncommon to clear stage 1 of Faction Wars, I still need them to be geared in some way. Whether it's good gear, bad gear, whatever, they still need gear on. And I'll roll that gear up to level 8, no higher than 8. We're just going to keep it at 8. But they do need gear. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to keep this, but I will not take it past 8. Flat defense, flat attack, flat HP on boots. you're pretty much just going to straight sell, right? The only reason I'm keeping this is because I'm going to have to toss some gear on some Faction War champions to clear stage 1, 2. So that's why we're keeping it. Okay. Weapon, crit damage, and speed. We definitely want speed on our account. Attack percent and crit rate. Excellent, excellent. We want lots of crit rate. Remember, crit rate's our highest damage dealing stat. Attack percent and crit rate again. Okay, those two pieces look like they would be amazing for a Kale because of the accuracy that Kale needs, but they're also good for any other damage dealer that needs accuracy. Speed and crit rate. Whew, we are getting some good pieces here. Crit rate, attack percent, excellent. My HP is not ideal, but we're taking the other two stats happily. Flat defense with speed. All right, guys. Now, the same rule that we talked about with the flat HP, flat defense, flat attack on those bottom three items, right? Like, so gloves, chest, boots, those flat stats, we do not want them on our account. But, and this is a massive but, guys, I need you guys to like pay attention, take a note, okay? If you have a flat stat main, like a flat main stat item on that bottom tier, like in your gloves or in your chest, and it has speed, don't trash it. If it's a 5-star, if it's a 6-star, don't trash it, okay? And I'm going to show you why. We're going to try to roll this up, and if we get double speed, then that's going to be huge for our account. If we get triple speed, even better, right? Because in order to win an arena, a lot of times you have to be fast enough. And sometimes that means you put on some funky gear that has some really high rolls of speed. Now, if this was a 3-star piece, absolutely no chance we would sell this. We'd collect the silver and we'd be happy. Um, Attack percent gloves. Attack percent gloves aren't good. Attack percent gloves, you would always want to have critical rate instead, unless you were trying to land bombs or something. But again, we're going to keep this and put it on a Faction Wars champion because they have to have gear. Attack percent chest. Okay, bad substats, but can't really complain about substats currently. We're brand new players. Attack percent with crit damage. We would rather this be crit rate because we want to cap at crit rate, but we'll take it. Attack. Oh wow, a lot of the same stats. Accuracy is really big on an accuracy set. We always want to remember that. And these stats really just kind of help build out a damage dealer. So okay, awesome, fantastic, fantastic pieces of loot, guys. We are making out on that. Resistance with HP. This is a good opportunity to mention that it's difficult to stack enough resistance early game to really be impactful. So although it can be helpful to build resistance later on in the game, resistance isn't going to be monumentally helpful until you have, say, 300, 350 resistance, and that's not really doable as a brand new player. So that doesn't help us a whole lot. But we will keep it just because we could potentially benefit from the set of accuracy. So we'll keep that. And we're going to do the same thing with this set. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll out our 3 items here, see what we get. 5-star with HP percent. Now, the resilience set gives us 10% HP, 10% defense, right? So we're looking for, as you could guess, on these sets, HP percent and defense percent, or tanky stats, right? Obviously, a lot of our tanks need accuracy to land provokes or to land debuffs that they put out, so we're looking for accuracy as well. And, you know, if we could get some speed, that would be really nice too. So that's kind of the stats that we're hoping to get. This is not very good. If we were to use this, it would only be because it rolled twice into accuracy. So like we'll take this, we'll roll it up to 4. If it lands accuracy, then we'll take it and roll it to 8. And if it lands accuracy again, then we can put this on a defensive debuffer in some capacity, probably in Faction Wars again. So okay, flat HP is not super great. Resistance early game hard to use, and crit rate on a defensive set, not a great piece, but a piece nonetheless that will go on a Faction War champion. Here we go. Let's see what we get. I'll go ahead and click here and make all of them spawn faster. Awesome. Okay, speed and HP. Okay, fair, right? We wanted HP percent or defense percent, and speed's always going to be a beneficial stat. Flat attack with HP and resistance. You guys can guess what's going to happen here. This is getting sold because it's a flat attack on a defensive set with no speed and no substats that would be remotely worth keeping. So we are happy to get this off the count. Crit rate and speed. Okay. Now remember, there are HP percent base nukers. There are defense percent base nukers. Remember, with our ultimate Death Knight, we're going to try to build a little bit of damage on him. So if we can get some crit rate, then that's a beneficial thing. So we're happy with that. We're hoping that we can roll into some HP percent here. So we'll keep that. Flat defense, flat HP, HP percent here. It's pretty terrible. That is a pretty terrible piece. We'll sell that because that's pretty terrible, even for a faction war champion. That would be hard to justify. Accuracy and HP. This is right up our alley. Fantastic. Speed is good. Attack not so good, but we'll see if it rolls speed. Let's see. Accuracy with HP. Yeah, we can work with that. HP and defense. Okay. HP and defense. Perfect. Great. Excellent. Okay. Now we've got Swift Parry and Deflection. Now for these two, I'm actually not going to craft these pieces until I have more rank charms and rarity charms. And the reason for that is they require core hammers. Core hammers are fairly difficult to get. A lot of times you get them from tournaments, you get them from events, and you can kind of see they're highly sought after just because they're commodity, right? Like you don't just get tons of them. So we don't want to craft these kinds of pieces unless we have rank and rarity charms to try to increase the chances of getting good loot from it. So yeah, that's the plan. Now, once we get into the Doom Tower, we'll start to be able to get some of the resources for these, but most important, we can craft perception. Remember, we've been talking about how beneficial perception is this whole time. The last 10 minutes or whatever, we've been talking about perception. So we get perception from faction wars. So make sure you're doing faction wars, okay? All right, to just go along with the little snippet from last night where I was talking about the Forge, in our Discord channel we were discussing the Forge and how to get sub charms and all those things. So as you can see, I'm on my main account right now, and I've got lots of charms for rank, for rarity, and then I've got lots of different type charms. So if I wanted to increase the chances to roll weapons or shields or chest plate or whatever, and then also I can also tell it, hey, I want higher chances to roll speed substat, or I want higher chances to roll accuracy substat. And the question was kind of posed like, where do you get these charms from? And I thought that was a really good point, and we have a lot of great support in the Discord channel. Baked Dreams is an experienced player, and he's been helping out a lot of people in there. So big shout out to him and all the help he's doing. So whenever we're looking at charms, we can look at tournaments, events. Those are really common places to find charms. So like we'll click on this Ice Golem tournament, and sometimes there will be charms over here. And most of the time you're going to see some charms here, right? So like if we look in the middle section here, we see 10 substat charms, right? And then once you get here, you start getting 5 substat charms, and then the very last place is 3. We'll look at the next tournament and see what that looks like. Same thing, 10, 10, 10, 10, then lots of 5s all the way down. So I mean, this is a nice place to go ahead and pick up substat charms. In the events, a lot of times there will be charms. I was looking at the Summon Rush, and it doesn't appear as though there's any charms here. No. So yeah, a lot of times there will be like charms kind of scattered throughout here, so that's a nice place to pick them up. And core hammers as well. Now, core hammers used to be a really, really big thing. Because the meta in PvP required a lot of swift parry gear, and the meta's kind of shifted away from that a little bit. So now I don't put as much emphasis on the core hammers, but as you can see, like, I mean, just to kind of stress the importance of the forged gear, especially perception. Let's take a look at my account and see who's wearing perception. So there's one set of perception, two sets of perception, three, four sets of perception, five, six sets of perception, eight, nine, let's see, 10, 11, let's keep going, 12, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. Perception is massive. Perception is massive. So, I mean, obviously in the Forge, there's lots of other decent sets as well, right? And a lot of these sets you get from Doom Tower. Perception you get from doing faction wars, and even if it's the 3 and 4 stars, just because all you can farm is these blue rare level quality materials, that's still awesome. That's still awesome. You know, in the beginning of the game, you're going to be rocking some really solid 4-star perception pieces, and then once you get into doing some harder faction wars, you'll be getting these epic materials. So, just wanted to stress that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll go ahead and clip into the next little kind of segue. Alright, I'm going to end the video here, guys. As always, it's a pleasure hanging out, pleasure talking to y'all. If you have requests for help, certainly join our Discord. I am always happy to help inside the Discord. Drop comments below and let me know what you guys would like to see, if there's any specific area of the game you want me to cover. And yeah, if you don't mind, like the video, and like I said, comment. Even if you're just commenting, you know, like Freebie is always really cool about dropping like a little duck, giving a high five or something. That helps YouTube realize that it's being engaged with, and then shoots that video out to other people. So I know it's kind of corny to ask you guys to comment below, but it really does impact the channel's growth. So even if you're just like saying, hey, thanks for the video, or commenting whatever you want to comment. So I hope you guys have a great night, guys. Take care.